Yeah.
Oh, hey, what up, motherfucker?
We're good.
We didn't have this conversation on the podcast
No,
or
yeah.
live at all, but I just want to say real quick, 10 wins for the Bears. I said it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Let them know what you're trying to say anyway. You think that the Bears are going to win 10 games.
I think they're going to win 10 games, and we will
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears.
We're talking football to start this mixed martial arts podcast.
Listen, it doesn't matter. We had a conversation about this, and I want to rub it in.
But,
all right,
dude, you're not gonna rub it. Are you? I'm a diehard Bears fan.
I know.
I just am a realist too, and they've hurt me too many times. And I think that they have a good team. I see 9 wins.
I see 10 wins, and Khalil Mack brings us all the way to the NFC Championship game.
If they win 10, it doesn't surprise me one bit.
Khalil Mack is amazing.
He's amazing. He's better than advertised, and everybody knew he was fantastic, and he's even better than that. It's truly amazing.
He's a freak.
Let's talk MMA.
Yeah, let's talk about some other freaks.
A lot of crazy things going on.
Yeah. You want to know who else is a freak of nature that I absolutely hate? John Jones. Did you?
Why?
Because he got 15 months.
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen, right?
How?
We knew that was going to happen. Apparently, the snitching clause, but then his manager, Mahal went on both the MMA Hour with Luke Thomas and the Helwani show and said that, no, we didn't say we'd snitch. We didn't say that snitching clause isn't like that. But then USADA came right back and said, hey, section, I'm making the numbers up because I don't remember
B32.
But section B32-A clearly states, basically saying, yeah, he agreed to snitch.
Oh my God, who is he snitching on?
Well, that's the other thing that I don't know. I didn't listen to the Helwani interview, but I did listen to part of the Luke Thomas interview. So Luke Thomas asked him. He said, "Melky Kawa, this is what I don't understand. If you guys are saying that you've never been dirty, never been a part of that world, then who are you snitching on? You know." But Kawa didn't have a good answer because, again, he said they didn't agree to snitch. So something's rotten in Denmark. Something's not right.
Also, John Jones is never allowed in my house. He's just going to tell my business to everybody. Like, how are you going to get coke from somebody and then snitch on that person who gave you coke?
If there's one thing you know about me, and I don't know if you or they know, but if there's one thing that people know about me, I don't fucking snitch.
No, you don't snitch.
It's disgusting.
Just why? What's the point of it?
I don't know.
If it doesn't directly affect you, I don't goddamn business.
Usually snitching happens when police or a person or people of authority corner you and they threaten you with a serious punishment, and then they pull the rug out from under you and they say, or we can make it all go away, and all you got to do is tell on some of these other people who, and this is what they'll do too. Yeah. This is what they'll do to even get inside your head and fuck with you. They'll be like, listen, man, they're drug addicts. You're going to be doing them a favor. They need help. You can be that help for them.
So John Jones thinks he's saving them.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's what they did to John Jones, but I'm saying that's what police and certain people in that position, those are the tactics they will use to get people to snitch.
Well, so I'm a lot more crazier than you are. And I'm going to say this.
I don't know about that.
But I'm more brash. That's what they said to John Jones. They said they were going to give John Jones a whole bunch of time, and he snitched on everybody. Yeah. And he thinks that he is saving Greg Jackson's gym.
It's... everybody wants to act like a big boy and do big boy things.
He's going to say Alistair gave it to him.
Maybe, but people want to do big boy things. And then when they get in trouble... They don't want to play big boy games anymore.
See, that's why I don't mess around in that world. It's just a lot of work.
It is what it is, man.
I like being a cuddly teddy bear. And, man, so is John Jones fighting at 2:30, by the way?
Who knows, man? I don't think so.
Yeah, everybody's denying.
I did think so, and now I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, Dana saying no. That's one thing. Dana says no.
And John Jones' manager again.
But then the fact that
saying no.
Him saying no, that's different. So now what are they doing with UFC 230? That's only a month away.
Well, Nick Diaz tweeted this morning, right, saying, I'm glad to be a part of history in the 165-pound title, me and Poirier.
Yeah.
And he even tagged Dana White in it.
And then Dana White said it's not true.
Yeah.
But then
many reputable reporters have came out and said it's not true. So,
but then I've also seen reporters who
have you? I haven't seen any reporters saying it's
I saw
true.
One thing where it was like it's confirmed. I was like, wait, how is this confirmed?
I don't know about that.
And then now Diego Sanchez is like, I'm fighting at 165 too. Where? Because there's no 165-pound division in the UFC.
I think that. And I said this for a while, man. I'm a fan every 10 pounds. You got 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 205. Then you break it and you go 225. That's just me. That's what I say.
I think that's
Get rid
good.
of the 170 because it doesn't make sense to have a 65 and a 75.
No.
Even though it's an iconic belt, you just gotta get rid
You can
of
still say it's just welterweight. You can just change the fucking.
new welterweight's 175.
When I was in high school, it went from 215 to 220.
well,
everybody who wrestled at 215 went up to 220. No one was like,
middleweight used to be 205 or whatever back in the day. It changed. It doesn't matter. It's always changing. They could fucking do that if they wanted to.
They're like, oh, we're too set in. 25 years in, you're set in.
No, that's what they need to do. That's what makes sense. That is ultimately too. The thing that I don't understand is, you're not just adding belts to add belts, but what you're doing is you're helping the sport out in so many other ways, right? Because the biggest thing right now is the weight issue, and that helps that out tremendously.
Yeah.
By giving these guys the option now.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. It's a win-win for everybody. I don't get it, man.
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
But what do they do with that main event? It's less than a month away. The first time the Octagon finally fucking got to touch down at Madison Square Garden,
and it was just killer.
That was headlined by McGregor and Alvarez, right?
Second one
was the greatest night of fights ever with George St. Pierre coming back and beating Bisping for the middleweight title. What do they do now, man?
You know
they need
what?
Something big.
Let's just do Stockton slap for the 165 title. I'm just saying.
And then I saw something this morning saying that now the UFC is planning, I don't know if this is true, but they're saying the UFC is planning to kick DC aside and bring Jones in against Lesnar. I don't know if it's at 238. Couldn't be. There's no way it could be. Lesnar's not ready.
So you brought something up interesting. We were talking about it earlier because we were shooting the shit. You have the best plan for this shit right now. For the heavyweight division, for DC, the biggest money maker of his entire life. Yeah. What is your plan, Mr. Commissioner?
DC said he's got 2 fights left, right?
Yes.
So what makes sense, after I saw that, I was like, all right, well, okay, let's do that. Because then what you could do is you give Stipe the immediate rematch. And I have, I'm probably going to take some heat for this, but I believe Stipe, granted, he is the longest reigning heavyweight champion ever. I think he's overrated, but being that he is the longest reigning heavyweight champion, but on that merit alone, he deserves an immediate rematch, in my opinion. So what I would do is I would give DC the rematch, or Stipe the rematch with DC. That's 1 fight down for DC. Then you let Jones and Lesnar battle it out at heavyweight, and the winner of that takes on, and I do believe that John Jones would beat Lesnar in that scenario, and I do believe that DC would beat Stipe in the rematch, and that would set up the biggest fight in UFC history for the heavyweight title, DC's retirement fight, John Jones, DC 3. It doesn't get any better than that.
I got chills. Oh, goddamn. That is actually really good.
That's
really awesome. Why are we not doing this?
This is what needs to happen.
Why are you not a commissioner?
I don't know.
Listen, this is what we need to do. Everybody on Twitter right now, go hashtag Mike the Commissioner. It needs to happen. Holy hell, that's an amazing. I just got rained down.
Look at that magic trick.
I know.
Called the ceiling fan.
Oh, my God. That is actually really good.
Yeah, right.
And my father, DC, Daniel Cormier, double champ, is totally.
That makes sense.
Oh, God, that's great. That's really great.
What else we got?
Oh, man. I'm just really excited about that right now. Like, I'm really, really happy.
206, Bellator 206 coming up. I'm excited about that, dude. That's a really good card. Scott Coker called it one of the. Did he might have called the best card in company history.
It definitely is.
Don't quote me on that. It's one of them, though.
It is, in my opinion. You
got a Bellator card.
Bellator cards are weird. It's like I get excited about a couple fights and then I'm bored.
Well, there's a lot of fighters that Bellator has on the roster that I'm a fan of that don't get half the fucking coverage they should.
Oh, I know. Well, Bellator recently, 205.
That was solid.
That was solid.
With McKee.
AJ McKee, holy moly. He's the
real deal.
He is definitely the real deal. And that was only like he was headlining. He really rose to the occasion.
Yeah, the kid is the real deal. Unlike James Gallagher.
Oh. And then
what about let's talk about Bellator 206, man. Mousasi and McDonald are fighting, right? For the 185-pound title.
Correct. And then you also have Rampage Jackson versus Wanderlei Silva 4.
Is it 4?
It's 4. They fought twice in Pride.
I thought it was 3. Jesus Christ.
I know. Douglas Lima versus Andre Korshkov.
That's the welterweight tournament.
That's insane.
Great fight.
Aaron Pico versus Leonard Higo.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that's a really good fight.
Andre Higo is no joke.
He's a beast.
Tough
He's
fight.
18-4, man. He is no joke.
That's a tough fight for Aaron Pico. That's a substantial jump in competition.
I think he can. He could lose. I don't think he is, but I think he could.
No, he could lose this fight.
Yeah, this is a very Carrie Melendez versus Dakota Zimmerman.
That's Gilbert Melendez's wife.
Whoa! Wow.
She's very good.
Yeah, she's still. Are they all part of the Scrap Pack still?
I'm sure she probably. I don't know. No, Melendez has his own training center, the El Nino Training Center.
Oh yeah.
I'm
and
sure
then
that's
Gaston Bolanos.
It's a 6-card main card.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is the featherweight featured bout, which is Gaston Bolanos, and I'm never gonna be able to pronounce that freaking name. It's insane.
Gaston Bolanos and Isidro Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Let's just pick through the Kerry Melendez and Dakota Zimmerman. I'll pick Kerry Melendez.
All right, I'm gonna go with. Man, I'm gonna go with Carrie Melendez too, because she's probably just training with some of the best in the freaking world.
Yeah.
Never seen her fight, but man, she's training out of his gym.
And then Pico and Leandro Higo.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Pico. I think he can win this, but Higo, I can't.
I believe isn't Higo a former world champion in Bellator?
I feel like he is.
Oh my gosh, I should know this. I don't have my phone next to me, but I believe he was.
Oh, let me take a look.
A few years ago, I believe he was. I'm gonna go Aaron Pico here. I think the kid is the real deal. I love all the guys at the body shop. We mentioned AJ McKee. I love all those guys, man. I think Pico is he'll get it done. I think.
Douglas Lima versus Andrei Korshkov.
That's the welterweight
or the
tournament.
welterweight Grand Prix Open round.
This is a tough one.
I'm gonna go with Lima on this
This is
one.
the second time too they fought.
And Lima,
He beat him the first time.
Yeah.
Took his belt.
I think he can beat him a second time.
Korshkov looked so good in his last fight. He won that spinning back kick.
It was
KO.
insane, but he's not gonna catch Lima with that.
I don't know, man.
He's not catching Lima with that.
I think Lima. I think Lima's too good.
I'm gonna say
I think
Lima.
Douglas Lima is so underrated.
Douglas Lima is a huge welterweight, by the way.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He honestly looks like he could fight at 205 if he truly wanted.
He could definitely be 185.
Remember those leg kicks he gave to Roy?
He's got massive thighs.
Oh, the leg kicks he delivered, man. Those I don't even know. Honestly, I had Douglas Lima winning against Rory.
Yeah, no, it was a very close. Could have won either way, definitely.
But Rory, I don't even know how he's walking today.
He's had so many wars. He had that one. He had the one with Condit, the one with Lawler. I mean, Jesus, he's gonna.
Remember Lawler's lip after that fight? Yeah. Like he had that split open and he screamed, and like that scream right there. Oh my God, we're gonna talk. We'll talk about something similar in that subject after this pick.
Silva and Jackson 4.
I'm going with Rampage.
Me too.
He still has power in his hands.
Exactly, and he's looking like a super heavyweight.
Yeah, dude. What's with him and Anthony Rumble Johnson? When they get big, their face gets big,
like their whole neck.
Yeah, and they get like the chipmunk cheeks. Like I'm looking, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I think it's gonna pretty much be a stand-up contest, and I think Rampage, although I think Silva's probably faster. I think he probably still will be faster. I just think Rampage is gonna catch him with the sloppy punch and end the fight.
Oh, yeah, one of those hip freaking hooks that he throws.
That starts in like Nebraska
and then comes all the way to him.
Then we got the
main event.
Great fucking fight.
Gegard Mousasi versus Roy McDonald. We were watching the countdown.
Yeah, the belt on
DAZN. Is it DAZN or DAZN?
I think it's supposed to be DAZN. Like you're in DAZN.
I heard them all say DAZN.
I can't. I say DAZN.
I'm just gonna go DAZN. All right, DAZN.
I'm going Mousasi.
Really?
Yeah.
That's. I'm gonna go with McDonald.
Yeah.
Because I just think that there's something different about McDonald.
Yeah.
I haven't seen McDonald doesn't quit. I've never seen him quit, and his stand up is good enough to where I think he can compete in the stand up, and his ground game is way steps beyond Gegard.
His ground game is very good. Yeah.
I think he just can dictate where the fight goes. And if it comes down to it, he's going to make it dirty, and Mousasi doesn't do well under fights like that.
Yeah. Mousasi has had a problem with guys that are good wrestlers that can hold him down and beat him up, a la King Mo and Back in Strike Force. And he's gotten better, yes, but he still has that Achilles heel, if you will. But Rory has the ability to take him down and hold him there, but Rory doesn't do that. When Rory gets you down, Rory either looks for the submission
or looks to finish.
And I think he's not going to submit Gegard. He's competent, But when he goes for those big strikes, I think that's going to give Mousasi an opportunity to get it back up to his feet. So I think the fight will kind of take place on the feet. And although that Mousasi is definitely better on the feet, I think Rory is going to make it a good, close fight. I just think Mousasi can edge it out. And even though I think it's probably going to go the distance, I don't think it's going to be a classic war like the ones we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of going to be underwhelming. But I think that Mousasi gets it done.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how I see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. And it's the one thing we were talking about it earlier, and then we got to see a really awesome thing about Teddy Atlas talking about kind of what I'm talking about.
He did a podcast, a 3-hour podcast with Rogan. And
which was really great.
I saw it. I mean, I saw it that he did it, but I didn't watch it because, honestly, I'm a boxing fan. Not a hardcore, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And I like Teddy Atlas, but it just didn't do anything for me, so I passed on it. But then when you came over earlier, and I was like, oh, did you see it? You were like, dude, you got to watch the stuff on Tyson. So we did, and
it brought up this conversation that I wanted to have.
That's crazy
with you because it's something that it's weird. It's this weird thing.
Well, hold on. If you guys have not, if you're a fan of boxing or MMA or anything, and you know who Tyson and Teddy Atlas, you got to watch that dude because the things that he says about Mike Tyson are
true.
Fucking shocking that he would say the things. Quite honestly.
Yeah, but it goes to this thing, this Robbie Lawler thing, this Michael Jordan thing, this mental thing that certain people have that divides you from the greats. And I think Roy McDonald, and that's why I'm choosing him, has that thing of like when shit hits the fan, they're there. And what Teddy Atlas was talking about with Mike Tyson, who's probably one of the greatest knockout artists of all time. He's one of the scariest hitters I've ever seen in my life. Like the way he hit, but he said he's never been in a fight.
Yeah, every time he was tested,
he lost.
Yeah.
And that is a weird...
No resiliency.
Yeah, and that's a weird thing that...
It's incredible.
To hear someone talk about Mike Tyson. If you think about Mike Tyson back in the day, the scariest man in the world, this dude that can just hit you. And it made me start thinking about MMA fighters that I think of that way. And Francis Ngannou pops in my head. Yeah. Right away.
Definitely.
Francis Ngannou pops in my head.
That's definitely the number one person, recent person for sure.
Chael Sonnen. When it gets to these...
I don't know if I'd put him there, but definitely
Chael Sonnen, but it's this thing of... And I don't think Chael Sonnen wants out of a fight. But when it's time for him to win, he seems to lose.
Yeah.
Like he can...
That Anderson fight comes to mind.
If you think about Chael Sonnen's career, he's demolished everybody. Until he got to the top. Till he got to that number one guy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, Nate Marquardt comes to mind. Back in the day.
Man, the Francis analogy I think is perfect.
But I'm just thinking that mindset of when you get to... And he was talking about Mike Tyson. And to hear him, knowing Mike Tyson since he was 12 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And 12 years old, apparently he was 190 pounds.
Of muscle.
Of muscle at 12. Yeah. A guy with a God-given ability. But then he talked about like the mentality he has as a kid. He was mentally weak.
Yeah, that's what he called him.
That's so crazy to think of that.
And he basically said that he's mentally weak even as an adult and all the way through as a fighter. And he said he wasn't a good fighter. He flat out said he wasn't a good fighter.
It was weird.
It was crazy the shit he was saying. I couldn't believe it.
And then he like called him a bad person. He's
Pretty much, yeah. He said he did bad things, and he called him a rapist. He said, "I'll call what it is. He was convicted, so it's fair to call him it." And I guess he's right there, but still doesn't mean you need to do it.
I've never heard someone talk about Mike Tyson in that realm.
Someone that knows him that well, anyway.
I don't think anybody has known Mike Tyson that well.
I don't know.
Another guy who talked about him was Jamie Foxx, and how he painted. Because Jamie Foxx was going to play Mike Tyson for a while, so he spent a lot of time with him. And Mike Tyson, when he got out of jail, was sleeping at Jamie Foxx's house. And stuff like that. So he was hanging out with him, and the way Jamie Foxx paints him as a person
is different.
No, it's like this. It's kind of the same. This child.
Is it really?
Yeah, like Mike Tyson was very, very childish. Never, the way he would get a girl is he would like take her to a car dealership and buy her a whole bunch of BMWs.
Wow.
Like, and then like after he got out of jail, like he wouldn't let women around him. He was scared of them.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you be?
I would be too, but the way he described him was like a child. in how Tyson is. So to hear Teddy Atlas, a guy who basically met Tyson at the very beginning, talking about how he ran and would hide in buildings.
That's fucking crazy.
That's just crazy.
Hide between the walls of buildings so he wouldn't get picked on.
And it shows like, man,
it's fucked up, man. And he called Evander in the same breath, basically calling Evander the greatest of all time.
Which, can we argue against that?
I think there's an argument for...
I think him and Roy Jones Jr. Can you make...
No, I think Muhammad Ali is in that conversation. So is Leonard. But
yeah.
No, I think if someone... I mean, that's not... that's his opinion, so...
Yeah, it's his opinion, but
it was crazy the way that he laid it out, though.
Yeah, he talked more in that...
It's pretty shocking.
Listening to that whole podcast was really great.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to go back and do that.
I always used to get mad at the UFC.
For
I'm like, you're underpaid, you have this dictator, Dana White, this. But there's something about the UFC that I like that is missing in boxing, and Teddy Atlas said it. That dictator. That person that says, here's what's happening, here's the fights, here's who you have to fight to be the best. And most of the time, for a long time, until maybe recently, last year, Dana White has pretty much put the best against the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can all agree on that. So to hear him basically confirm the reason boxing sucks, I think
that's a reason why. But
that's one of them.
I was just listening to someone and they just totally dispelled that myth about boxing being shitty right now. They were saying boxing had never been stronger and they had the numbers to prove it, and it was pretty interesting. I totally forgot who the fuck it was, man.
It's but no, it is fucking true.
Was it someone I was speaking with on an interview? I'd fucking forget, dude.
Well, boxing's been around longer.
Yeah. I don't know. Boxing's doing pretty good, man.
Well, we got some great fights. We got Deontay Wilder going up against Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Not a huge boxing guy, but that's going to be a good fight.
Well, a fight did just recently happen. That was a big fight. I don't know if you watched
Anthony Joshua just fought.
Anthony Joshua just fought.
On
DAZN. But it was Triple G versus Canelo.
Yeah, of course.
That fight.
Canelo won.
I didn't agree with it. What's a jab worth? But I didn't. I assumed that if it went to decision, unless Triple G completely embarrassed him, Canelo was going to win because
I just can't. I'm just not a bug. I mean,
well, the thing
certain boxing fights I can get in on, but just that one just doesn't do anything for me.
No, but the sport's fucking corrupt, and Teddy Atlas said it.
I think most sports, all sports rather.
Teddy Atlas talked about it actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he was bringing up shit that everybody knew, but no one was willing to say of his stature. And so what he said was, you can go to a restaurant the night before the fight, and you have the judges, the refs, a bunch of people who are controlling the sport, and the promoter is paying the bill. And the promoter obviously is invested because one of his fighters is in the fight. How do you think that doesn't sway their opinion? Vegas only cares about money. So if you're not under the promoter's thing, you can pretty much get fucked. Even if you Triple G should have won that fight, should have won the first one, but
I don't know.
It swayed in Canelo.
I didn't score the first one for him.
I did. It was Canelo just didn't do enough in that fight. And this one, I can make a case. I think Triple G.
I haven't seen the second one. I have no idea.
I haven't watched. It's fun. Canelo brought the fight.
Boxing just doesn't do it for me.
No, there's
the same way that hockey doesn't do it for me. The same way that baseball doesn't do it for me.
Baseball's boring.
They don't do it for me.
Baseball is the most boring sport in the world, but there are some people in baseball that are freaks of nature. Have you ever seen the dude Aaron Judge?
Of course.
I always think to myself,
there's people in every sport. I mean, what's his name? That the fucking swimmer. Michael Phelps is a freak.
Well, I always wonder.
Doesn't mean I'm going to watch swimming.
There's certain athletes that I look at and I go, if they fucking went into MMA,
fighting, I do too.
MMA, it's just good.
That's how I look at things.
Good fucking luck. Like Khalil Mack.
Right.
Just good fucking luck.
He's just amazing. He's just too incredible. Assuming he can take a punch.
Well, yeah, but once you get over that.
But look at Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy is, by the way, the lower end of some of the athletic talent.
The thing about Greg Hardy that makes him different, though, is he has a violent, homicidal mean streak.
That's every defensive player.
I don't know about that.
That's every defensive player.
No, not like him, though. Not every defensive player is a woman beater.
Not.
You know what I mean?
Well, maybe they just control it. You know, Ray Lewis killed somebody.
This is true, but
yeah.
he's different than your typical.
Oh, he's scary.
Brendan Schaub is a defensive player that
he has that switch. I guarantee Brendan
Schaub and Matt Mitrione, who both played defense in the NFL and then came over to fighting, do not have the same look in their eye that Greg Hardy has. After
Greg Hardy's a killer.
He's a homicidal maniac.
He's a killer.
Those other guys are not.
God damn, Greg Hardy! You showed me the picture right away. You got look at his eyes.
Dude, he just brutally knocked the guy out, and then he still had rage, like he wanted to kill. I mean,
it was like Brock Lesnar right after Frank Mir, like that psychopathic. What was it? But it was scarier
because he was like foaming from the mouth after.
Yeah, Greg Hardy. What was scarier about him was that his eyes, like you just saw it in his eyes.
It's like hollow, man.
He wasn't yelling. He wasn't.
And what's scary about the Greg Hardy thing is, if you've read like the incident reports, what he was accused of.
Oh my God,
it's pretty graphic what he was accused of. So like, just that's in the back of your mind when you're watching it too. And if you say that that's not a factor, and you're lying, because
scary.
Even on a subconscious level, that has to affect what what you see.
Yeah, it does. Well,
knowing that he held a woman against her will for days and threatened her with guns and beat the fuck out of her, that plays into your decision.
And the only reason he didn't go to jail is because she didn't testify.
Right, because he's got a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
Or he did anyway.
He did. Now he's fighting. Juan Adams wants to fight him, though.
Yeah, he does. How much money does it really take, though, to sway somebody from...
Me?
Going into court?
$5,000.
Exactly.
Like, it's not much right now.
Let's just say this. Let's end on this. If Juan Adams does get that fight, because he's been lobbying hard, our buddy Juan the Kraken Adams, he's a
beast, dude. You're awesome.
He contract on the Contender Series. He's been on the show a couple times. Cool guy. If he does get the fight against Greg Hardy, does he beat Greg Hardy?
Fuck yeah. Wait, it depends on when. Right away? No. Well, right away, he fucks him up.
Greg Hardy is fighting on Fight Pass in, I don't know, I want to say in the next month.
With the LFA?
No, it's XFC or something. I forget what it is, but he's fighting with him. So let me try to see if I could find it here. Yeah, man, I don't know. I want to say that our buddy Juan gets him, but
Juan fucks him up the first time.
I hope so.
I think he does. He has too many weapons.
Yeah,
but more down.
Juan is a very good wrestler.
Down the road,
his
though,
striking is coming along too.
Yeah, but if down the road, what I'm talking about is down the road. I want to see them fight when they're both in their prime,
dude.
Like I'm talking about where Greg Hardy actually knows what he's doing, and Juan Adams is like at the peak.
Greg Hardy's fighting this Saturday night,
really,
the 29th. He's fighting on XFN 352. Greg Hardy back on Fight Pass. It's yep. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's actually insane. You know what? We're gonna end on that. Guys, go like us on...
Yeah, do all that shit.
Yeah, let's do all that shit. Hit like, subscribe here at our YouTube.
Straus21 on Twitter and all the social media platforms.
Palatine Mahal, Palatage Mahal. You can find me everywhere. Also, go listen to our interviews with awesome fighters. The
website.
Who did we just have?
I don't know. So I lose track of stuff.
Yeah,
did you see that shit.com?
Exactly. And...